So this is going to be an interesting video to say the least. My channel has been dominated by gaming videos, more so horror game videos, and I've been wanting to branch off of that and make content on different games, play different things, and upload them. But all the games I've played recently that haven't been horror-based have not been that interesting. And since they haven't been that interesting, I haven't recorded anything from them. So I've had the drive to make YouTube content, and I thought, why not try my hand at storytelling? I have a handful of stories from this gas station that I work at, and if you work in any form of place that deals with customers, you are going to meet a lot of crazy people, and you're going to see a lot of crazy shit. And I thought it would be interesting to share a couple of my experiences. If this video does well, I have a bunch of more videos to make on other stories that I have. But the story I'm about to tell, I think, would be a very good starter for this channel. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Real quick, I wanted to give a massive shout out to the people who have supported my last video. I worked pretty hard on it, and I hope it shows in the production of it. I haven't posted in a while, so I'm glad to see that a bunch of you have stuck around to watch the stupid shit I make. And I can't promise more frequent uploads. I don't know if anyone read the description at all, but I do plan on making a return and posting more videos whenever I, one, have the motivation to do it, and two, have the content to do it. So, appreciate all y'all, and stick around. For the record, I'm not going to be name-dropping the gas station in question, and I'm also not going to be name-dropping anybody involved in the story, because I am still currently employed at the same gas station, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers if they do see this and find it as an issue. So I'm going to keep it as vague as possible, and yeah. So this gas station I work at isn't a 24-hour gas station. We do have a closing time, and we close at 10 p.m., and this story takes place roughly around 9:55, 9:57, somewhere around there. Not to be too specific about it, but just know that we were literal minutes away from closing. So we had a busy night, and me and my friend, I'll just call him Aaron, we're both behind on closing, and we had our own respective shit to do. And while I was just trying to finally get caught up on the shit I had, I was in a understandably upset mood, because people just kept coming in, interrupting the closing process, which is fine because we're still opening. But I had to go home and do schoolwork because I was still in college, and still am in college to this day. And I was a little worried because I had finals coming up, and I had to get my shit turned in and all that, you know? Stuff that's more important than closing a fucking gas station. And so this person comes in at the phenomenal hour of 9:59, and I'm like, whatever, they're just going to come in, grab a drink, whatever, which they did. They came in, got a drink, and then I ended up giving them their drink for free because it was a fountain drink. We had less than a minute left, and I just wanted to close. So they walk out, and they stop in the door and start talking to some people. It's a couple. I'll just call them the couple. Starts to stop and talk to them with the door propped open, which was fine because it wasn't bothering me at all. I could still close, do whatever the fuck I needed to do. I could tune it out, whatever. But when I turned back around to start doing shit, I heard the couple walk in. And I turn around and look at my clock on the register. At that time, it was 10:02 or something, 2 minutes after we close. And I was so fucking upset over it, man. Other than being pissed off and showing it to the customers, I kept it in and was like, okay, whatever. They're going to do the same thing that guy did, right? They're just going to come in and grab a drink and then head out. And we'll be all good. That'll be fine. But that is not what happens in this case. They actually end up walking around the store and looking at everything we have. And I already let them in. I already told them it was okay. So I wasn't going to just rush them along because I didn't want to be rude. And I just let them do their own thing. So by that time of me seeing that they're just walking around the store, touching shit, grabbing all the whatever they need, I walk over to the office where our light switch system is. And I go to flick off the outside lights. And my friend Aaron sees that I'm exuberantly pissed off, and he's like, well, what the fuck, what's going on, like, why are you so upset? And I told him, I was like, we got this couple walking around, they just want to buy shit, and we closed, like, at this time, at that point, not this time, at that point, 5 minutes ago. and I had to go home and finish schoolwork that was due in about a day or so, and I was super behind on that, on top of my fucking clothes that night, and I was just frustrated and over with it. And he was like, just go up to him and tell him to get the fuck out. Like, I mean, we're past close. And then he starts to walk towards him and, like, says, hey, hey, and all, tries to get their attention. And I'm like, no, it's whatever. They already got their shit. Like, I don't care. It's fine. And by that time, Aaron had finished catching up with his clothes, so he ended up coming up to the front and sitting around and just eavesdropping on everything. And they were walking around, and then the couple, admittedly, was relatively sweet. They were nice people, to me at least. And they come up and bring their stuff to the register, and I start to check them out. They had a bunch of shit. They had milk. They went grocery shopping in my little gas station. So I start scanning all their shit up, and the husband asked me if I could leave out the frozen item that they got. I don't even remember what it was. If I could leave it out so that his wife could go and use our microwave to heat it up in the store. And I was like, sure, that's fine. And then he was trying to do this really weird method of me not paying for it, but ringing it up as a separate thing, even though I had everything scanned up. And I was like, why not just pay for it all as a whole? Why would I have to do this as a separate transaction? It just makes the process longer, just whatever, So I finished cashing them out, and the husband hands his wife the box of frozen shit they just bought, and she starts heading over to the microwave. And my friend Aaron, who is standing right next to me, looks at her and says, do you know how to use the microwave, ma'am? And admittedly, the microwave we have in the store is a little confusing when you first look at it. It's not like your normal run-of-the-mill microwave. It's got a bunch of different shit on it. And admittedly, I didn't even understand half the shit that was on it. It was just really... It seemed very modern, but not at the same time. It was just not like a conventional microwave. So I understand why he said it. But it just came off really assholey. And at first I didn't pick up on it because I was too busy just like figuring out what change to give this guy and finishing the transaction so I could finish my clothes and go home. But I do hear that, and the husband does not take that too well, understandably. So the husband like darts his vision over to Aaron, who's just standing there, just genuinely trying to help the lady. Like, he didn't mean it to be rude at all. He wasn't as in bad of a mood as I was at the time. So he was just genuinely trying to help. He didn't mean it in a way, but admittedly it did come off pretty bad. So he looks over at him and says, hey, don't be an ass or something. And then they exchange a couple words. I don't even remember what was said because they were both talking over each other. But what I do remember was he was like, don't be a prick. You're being a prick. And then my friend Aaron was just like, what do you mean? What? And then he tries to explain himself, saying, it's a complicated microwave. We get questions all the time about how to use it, and I just wanted to make sure she could figure it out. And that is true. I have received multiple requests of how do we use the microwave, so I do understand that part, but the husband was like, no, you're standing to be a little fucking prick. Like, you shouldn't disrespect my wife like that, especially in front of me. And then my friend Aaron was like, well, okay, sorry for trying to help her. Like, God, I just wanted to help her. And the husband was trying to buck up to him. He ends up coming to the side where the register is. Like, we have this little opening that you can walk down. It's not guarded by, like, a door or anything. It's not guarded whatsoever. But he just comes up to the side and he starts to buck up to my friend Aaron. And Aaron gets down and he's just standing right there and just having this 50-something-year-old man. And I'm going to say that Aaron is a younger guy. He's between the age of, 17 and 22. So it's just so funny to see this like 56-something plus man just buck up to a teenager, to a young adult. And I was sitting there looking at them, and then I was like, okay, listen, Aaron, apologize. That was kind of rude. And sir, we closed 8 minutes ago. Can we please not do this here? Like, he's sorry. He didn't mean it like that. Let's just go figure it out. So I hand the guy his cash, or not his cash, his change and his receipt. And he's just like, why don't you come up to my truck? Come on, why don't you come up to my truck? And then my friend's just standing there, like, staring at him, like, making, like, just, like, direct eye contact with him. He's like bewildered at this man trying to fight him right now, like in the middle of a parking lot at 10:10 at night, you know. And I was sitting there, I'm like, no, we're not, no one's going out of the parking lot. You're not going to beat up my closer. Just whatever, you know. So the couple ends up walking out and leaving, and then I follow them right out to lock the door and get it all closed up. And so I walk back, and I'm just trying to close down my register, and Aaron just starts going on about it. He's like, "Do you see him trying to buck up to me? He was gonna fight a stupid little young adult fucking gas station worker over trying to help his wife? Like, wasn't that fucking crazy?" I don't know the half of what he said to me because I was just like, let me close my fucking register. Let me go the fuck home. I'm tired. I don't want to be here anymore. Please, just let me go the fuck home. And I guess, I don't know. It was whatever. After that point, it was whatever. We got them out of our store. Everything was closed. We could finally just clock out, go home. After that point, you'd think it'd be all over. You think that that's the end of the story. That should be the ending part of everything. But it was not, actually. It was not the ending of everything. I come in the next day, and my friend Aaron, who also worked that next day, he comes up and he's like, "Bro, that couple last night wants to press charges on me." And I was like, what the fuck? I was beyond confused on why they would want to press charges on him, even though he did nothing. Like, there was no physical altercation. There was nothing illegal or nothing threatening happening. It was just some 56-year-old trying to fight my fucking closer. So apparently the couple called the store the next day and talked to our manager, and they were like, "I just don't feel safe around there anymore, and I want to press charges on him. I want to get the cops involved because he didn't make me feel safe. He didn't make me feel welcome in that town. Yada yada yada." And it was just like so crazy, like how I don't understand what was going through their I don't understand what was going through their head. Like, that doesn't make any sense. There's nothing you can press charges about. You were in our store after we closed. I was nice enough to let you come in and buy your shit, even though it was, like a minute, 2 minutes after you came in to come get your shit. And it was just crazy. It was crazy. And that was basically the end of the story. Nothing else happened past that. My friend didn't get charges pressed on him or anything like that, because what the fuck would they have pressed charges on him for? And I haven't seen that couple come into the gas station at all ever since that happened. So I guess all's well ends well. I don't fucking know. All that aside, though, that's not the craziest story I have from that gas station. I have a bunch more that I could tell on here, but I felt like that would be a good starting point if I did want to make this a series, or if I did want to tell more stories like this. I don't know. If you found that interesting, I would appreciate it if you left a like and a comment or just some form of interaction. Share it with your friends, share it with your mom, share it with your dog, share it with whoever you want. And maybe I'll consider making another one of these story times. All that aside, though, the story wasn't particularly the craziest story in the world, but I do have a lot more stories from this gas station that are way, way crazier than that shit. But I felt like this would be a good starting story to just kind of test out the water, see if you guys enjoyed or not. And if you did enjoy, consider dropping a follow, dropping a like, dropping a comment, dropping whatever you can to support the channel. And I might consider making this a full series. Like I said, I don't really want to make this the primary focus of my channel, but I think it would be kind of cool to have as side content if I'm just having a hard time finding a game to record and play and edit and all that shit. Just have some filler extra shit for you guys to watch, especially something like this that's more real rather than just a gaming video. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is very new to me, this whole talking into a microphone and just saying whatever, just talking, because I don't have a script written down for this. This is just a story that I had in my head and I wanted to tell it. And I like the idea of just telling a story to a friend rather than writing it out as a script and having everything be scripted, written out point for point. I don't know. It just feels more real that way. It feels like, I don't know, I'm telling a story to a friend, like I said, and it just feels more, I don't know, it just feels better to me. I like it a lot more. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Like I said earlier, if you guys liked the story, consider dropping a like, follow, comment, whatever you can to interact with the content to let me know that I'm doing an A-OK job. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.